Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High in the proper names in the Paleo Hebrew tongue. I want to say, Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Akrakadash Ma'amaf. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, whom the world equally and willingly call God or Jehovah. Bahashem meaning in the name of. Yahushai meaning he who delivers, whom the world equally and willingly call JC today. I want to give a double honor to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule well, and another double honor to my elder as well, Aharawan bin Yasha Allah of the Lions Den camp here in Jacksonville, Florida. Salutations to the 144,000 hopeful elect, pushing this truth across the four winds, and to the one-third remnant believers on Yahweh Shema Shah, Shalom, Shalom. It's going to be a quick lesson put together through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, and I pray that it be edifying. So this lesson is going to be entitled, Let Your Words Be Few. Because in this life that we live, sometimes you want to lash out like a lion. Sometimes you want to roar, but it's not going to get you anywhere in this life that we live in, because the people, the inhabitants of this world is full of pride. You got people out here that just full of hella pride. So you go down the street or you having a altercation with somebody, or you got to understand that the YNs, the old heads, everybody in this place is just full of pride. So it gets to a point to where you have to, what the elder just said, emotional control, I believe. You have to control yourself emotionally in this place, so you won't fall into a wrath or sin. So I'm going to start off in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5, verse 1. It says, Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of Yahweh, and be more ready to hear than to get a sacrifice of fools. So, right, when two or three are gathered in the name of Yahweh Shemashai, Yahushua is in the midst. You see what I'm saying? So you have brothers out there teaching on the highways and byways. You have scoffers come up, and try to debate, or scoffers come up that don't believe and try to constantly come against the men of the Lord. You see what I'm saying? You could be having a conversation, with your family. You say you're having a conversation with your family, and y'all having a conversation about Yahweh Shemel Shai. You might have a scoffer amongst your family. You see what I'm saying? But the scripture says you have to keep your foot, meaning be quiet. You see what I'm saying? It says, be more ready to hear than to get a sacrifice of food. You have to hear and understand the words that's coming out of man of the Lord's mouth. You see what I'm saying? And be more ready to hear. So you don't want to know what's saying. Well, for us being ministers, for each and every brother that's doing this work, on the highways and byways being ministers, you have to understand and know when it's time to speak and when it's time to be quiet. You see what I'm saying? It says, and be more ready to hear than to get a sacrifice of food, for they consider not that they do evil, right? And that's what it be when they walk up. When they walk up and they act as if that they so right. Like, dude that passed by the camp a few weeks ago with the Hoochie Daddy shorts on, he came up looking for a debate. You see what I'm saying? Or just people, and, just in general. You might have to deal with your women that just don't listen. You see what I'm saying? Or your children that just don't listen, just been filled with, the doctrine of this world. That's just the conditions of the battle, of the things that we have to face on this side. It says, verse 2, Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before Yahweh, right? And that's what our people do. They before they hear and understand what you're saying out of your mouth, they rash with their tongue. They quick to say some shit out of emotion. You said some shit out of emotion because you felt the way. You see what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. You felt the thing that I said, it didn't soothe your feelings. So it caused you to basically get emotional and to fall off the deep end and just curse me out, or whatever the case may be. Or you out and about. You know how Jake get. Jake don't like reproof or to be corrected. So what they do? They've been fucked around and shot you. Salakia. But it says, be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thy heart be hasty to utter anything before Yahweh. For Yahweh is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore, let thy words be few. So you have to let your words be few. And even even us as men of the Lord, man. And that's what I'm starting to learn day by day, off the things that I've been seeing for the past few days, the feelings that I've been feeling for the past few days. I'm learning to have power in silence. You see what I'm saying? I'm learning to have power in silence because it's certain brothers that carry a certain spirit. You see what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is, before Judas Maccabees was put into the spirit of being Judas Maccabees, he had the spirit of a warrior inside him. And a lot of us brothers, we walk around, with that spirit. And we have to understand that we're in the time of Satan's rulership. Esau ruling, so we can't just be who Yahweh Shemashah made us to be. We have to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Because if you let that emotion get the best of you, like Judas Maccabee's father, Matthias, I believe, when he saw that man finna come sacrifice on that altar, he got that man up. He sent that man. As soon as that man put that sacrifice out, he sent that man straight to the Lord. You see what I'm saying? So it gets to a point to where we can't have that spirit walking around Babylon, because we be somewhere in one of Trump goddamn prison in the South America, whatever case may be, or in prison, period. It says, it says, let your words be few, and that's what I'm learning, to not have an argumentative spirit back, or, to not constantly go back and forth, because it ain't going to get you nowhere. It's not going to get you nowhere in this life to constantly go back and forth, with your woman when she want to be a demon. You see what I'm saying? With your family members that just don't believe and constantly want to come and scoff. You get what I'm saying? For brothers out there with children that's not in the truth, that, just want to do their own thing, it gets to a point to where you got to let your words be few, and you got to let the Lord deal with these individuals out here, man. You see what I'm saying? So this is Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 1. It says, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. Right? And that's what I'm learning. You see what I'm saying? Because I feel some type of way about a situation, about me letting the situation slide 4 or 5 times, right? And when I finally speak on it, I might have a little bit of aggression, a little bit of authority in my voice, which I'm nobody, I'm a worm. You see what I'm saying? But let's say me and my woman having a disagreement, and I have a little bit of authority in my voice. You see what I'm saying? So it gets to a point in time, that's just the spirit that Yahweh Shemashah put on us. You see what I'm saying? Just like when our fathers and our when our fathers come against us, when your mother yelling at you, what it says, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. So when you get to talking and constantly talking and saying your response, and you didn't thought about this good response that's gonna hit them where it hurt, you see what I'm saying? It ain't gonna get you nowhere. It ain't gonna get you nowhere, man. So it gets to a point where we just gotta learn how to, all right, cool. All right, I appreciate you. You got it. You see what I'm saying? And constantly pray to Yahweh Shemashah to make us, turn us into those men. Because I come from a city to where I had to learn how to not do certain things because I know it'll get me killed. You see what I'm saying? So now I still find myself having those same characteristics to this day, until Yahweh Shemashah basically showed me myself. Like I started working the medical field, and I'm around a whole bunch of Edomites. I'm around a whole bunch of people. So you have to look people in the eyes. I never like looking people in the eyes, because being in Chicago, looking somebody in the eyes, mess around and get you killed. You see what I'm saying? So I had to learn how to not look people in the eyes and have a conversation with them. And I'd be looking off into the distance, looking at everything instead of just looking at that person. And that would be me getting my point across and explaining, because me feeling as if that I look somebody in their eyes was disrespectful. You see what I'm saying? So now I work in medical field, and it's disrespectful not to, look people in their eyes and engage in conversation and let people know you right here. Let people know that you're not scared, that you're not timid, and that I got a lot to say these days, basically. So right. So it says, Verse 2, the tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. So the tongue of the wise is going to use the knowledge aright, you know, knowing what to say at that right time and at that right place. Because sometimes we get in our emotions, and you'll have emotions and basically replying for you. But no, when you get in your emotions, you have to reply. You have to reply according to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah. There's a lot of things I don't like in this life, and there's a lot of things that when I see it, you see what I'm saying, the first thing I want to do is say, you know what I'm saying? The first thing I want to do is lash out at it, you know? It's certain stuff in this world, and I see it, I want to speak on it, but certain stuff you just can't speak on because, 2/3 of your people ain't going to get it. You know what I'm saying? You got these women out here with this feminism. They don't care what they did. They only care what you did. They only care how you responded. They don't care about the thing that they said that make you, fly off the handle. You a man. Who are you to get emotional? You a man. You can't say nothing about nothing that I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? So it gets to a point where you just have to let your words be few. You know what I'm saying? So right, it says the tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. So 2/3 of our people, when they don't like the wisdom, knowledge, understanding that you get from the Bible, the first thing they do is pour out foolishness, man. You get what I'm saying? So in this life, man, we have to learn how to use wisdom, knowledge, understanding that Yahweh Shem Shah gave us. But just a quick lesson based off of letting your words be few. Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 28, it says, even a fool when he holdeth his peace is counted wise, and he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding. Because what's the point of sitting right here going back and forth with a Muslim about what he believe? You see what I'm saying? What's the point of sitting right here going back and forth with a Christian? He read the same scriptures. He just don't get a whole nother viewpoint from it. So it gets to a point where I don't even want to talk to you. Are you a Christian? All right, cool. Yeah, well, I'm an Israelite. I call on Yahweh Shem Shah. In my mind, you just heard it. You see what I'm saying? You just heard it. So it gets to a point to where the wise is who you give the true riches and the true breakdowns of Yahweh Shem Shah to. Like I was going into the hair store the other day, because I had ran out of like beard oil, and when I was parking, I seen this Jake, and I just felt in my spirit that he was going to try to talk to me. So we locked eyes. I could tell that he didn't want to ask anybody for anything. He was telling me here, like, man, I had a celebrity cake business in California, and I couldn't shake back after the pandemic. Now I'm here. I'm here every day waiting outside Publix because I want to know if they got a public cake decorating position available. So he said, I'm out here every day checking on it. You see what I'm saying? So it gets to a point to where me hearing his story, and it gets to a point to where it led up to us talking about the name of the Lord. So I said, man, the name of the Lord is Yahweh. His son's name is Yahweh Shah. So I said, so we call the name of the Lord. We say Yahweh by Shem Shah. He's like, hold on, what's that second part? He's real dead engaging because he wanted to know about this wisdom, knowledge, understanding. He was just so happy that somebody stopped and talked to him. You see what I'm saying? So it gets to a point to where those are the people that you give the words of Yahweh by Shem Shah to. The people that don't want to hear it, that can't sit down and stomach a lesson, that can't sit down for an hour to listen to a lesson, that don't want to open up their Bibles and read, you don't even give it to them because they ain't going to eat it. You see what I'm saying? So what you do, you eat it yourself. So right, it says, even a fool when he holdeth his peace is counted wise, and he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding. So you have to just understand that 2/3 of our people can't get it. They can't get it. They ain't going to never be able to get it. So the best thing we could do in this lifetime is to just let them be, man. Let them be, and let them fall off, and let them receive the judgment of Yahweh Shem Shah in its full totality by themselves. There's nothing that we could do for them at this point. They can't get it. They don't have enough fear of the Lord to watch their mouth or to consider the Lord when they speak, because they not a man of understanding or a woman of understanding. So right, this is the book of Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 11. It says, a fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards. So you're right, when it's time to speak. A fool gonna keep talking and talking and talking and saying whatever he say and just spewing out madness. But a wise man, he gonna wait and he gonna say it at the right time. You see what I'm saying? And that's the mindset that we need to be in. Because if you're constantly trying to get somebody to understand something and they're not understanding, it gets to a point that we just got to sit back and be quiet. Sit back and be quiet It just focus on Yahweh Shema Shai. That's all you can do in this life. You see what I'm saying? Because we sit here to win, but we're gonna lose in the process. We're gonna lose things. So in the midst of your losing process, bro, you just gotta understand it. You gotta know that Yahweh Shema Shai is with you. And he ain't gonna cause you to lose nothing that's really for you. If it's really for you, Yahweh Shema Shai gonna increase it. But if it's not, he gonna take it away from you. You know? He gonna take it away from you. So right. Let me get this one first. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 11, it says, and that ye study to be quiet and to do your own business and to work with your own hands as we commanded you. So we have to study. When we study to get this wisdom, knowledge, understanding, it ain't to go out there and just cut Edomites. It ain't go out there and stand outside of the church to cut the people in the church so you can get members of your Israelite, community. When we study to gain the wisdom, knowledge, understanding of Yahweh Shema Shai. That's why we study. You see what I'm saying? So right, work with your hands as we commanded you. So right, study to be quiet, do your own business. So we study, we go on about our business. You see what I'm saying? All that extra trying to sit right here and yell and roar and scream and cry and beat things to get people to understand, they can't get it, man. They can't get it because the love of Yahweh Shema Shai ain't in their heart. They care about the things of this world. So when you care about the things of this world, it's going to pull you away from Yahweh Shema Shai. When you constantly care about the people of this world more than you care about the people that call on the name of Yahweh Shema Shai, the people that's in this world going to pull you away from Yahweh Shema Shai. You see what I'm saying? So right, it gets to a point to where you have to just sit back, be quiet, and let the world and let the Lord do the rest. You see what I'm saying? That's all we can do in this life. So right, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 14 and verse 14. It says, the Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. All right, the Lord is going to do all the fighting. Yahweh Shema Shai is going to fight for us, and we're going to hold our peace. We're not going to have to go back and forth. We're not going to have to make something shake in a time of trouble. Yahweh Shema Shai going to make it shake for us. You see what I'm saying? So we want to be on his side at all times. We want to be counted as sheep for Yahweh Shema Shai. So, all right. Let's see. The book of James, chapter 19, and James chapter 1 and verse 19. I'm talking about that. James chapter 1 and verse 19, it says, wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. So you have to be swift to hear, slow to speak. You want to know why. You want to know why this person is telling you what they're telling you. You want to know why your significant other is telling you why you can't do this or why you shouldn't do this, because it's going to destroy you. You see what I'm saying? You want to know why your mom and your daddy telling you don't touch that hot stove. You get what I'm saying? So, right. Let's see. Let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. Right. You can't be quick to fly off the handle and wanted to hurt somebody because you don't like how a situation went. And that's something that I need to, take account of. You see what I'm saying? And just understanding that, all right, you know what I'm saying? Just sit back, relax, and enjoy your How About Shema Shai show. It says, verse 20, for the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of Yahweh, wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. All right. We sit down and we be quiet. We study to be quiet. You see what I'm saying? Basically, we go on about our business, man. We just do everything according to Yahweh Shema Shai. Hold our peace and let Yahweh Shema Shai fight for us. I pray this lesson is edifying. Shalom. On to the next.